Hello everybody and welcome to the penultimate week of Season 2 in the Regal Draft League. Week 7 saw Otter retain his crown as the king of Spam by taking out Wheeze, who forgot to bring Spam to the matchup. Tommy replaced his pitching glove with a mirror herb. Excalibur tore through Austin faster than Godzilla through New York. Overquill launched a barrage that decimated Wales. Did Twim catch an English fish? Frostlass blew an icy wind through the Brelooms' reign as the Politoeds tightened their grip on that last playoff spot. This week, everyone is jostling for position, with the Dirge, Dogis and Latios trying to keep pressure on the table-topping Nameless team, who can confirm the number 1 seed with a win over the Appletun. At the bottom of the table, the winner of the Blazing Brelooms versus Eastos and Archeops will be hoping for a Dogis victory over the Politoeds to keep their playoff hopes alive. Unfortunately, after last week's abundance of footage, we have a distinct lack of match replays this week, with only 2 games available to us. In the opening match of the week, the Philadelphia Politoeds faced off with the Ohio City Dogis, with so much on the line. At 5-2, the Dogis absolutely need a win to keep themselves in the race for that number 1 seed. Also to keep them in position to be on the opposite side of the playoff bracket to those unbeaten ice Shards, should they win again. The Politoeds likely need one more win to confirm their place in the playoffs ahead of the chasing Brelooms and Archeops. A ridiculously close match. Coach Chris and the Politoeds shocked the world, taking a 2-1 victory against the previously all-powerful Dogis. Blood Moon Ursaluna and Iron Hands went blow for blow across the set, but the deciding factor was the quality support provided to Brian by Goldengo, Ogapon and Frostlass. Only Enamorous Therian stepped up to help the Big Bear, but it wasn't enough. Brian and friends punched their ticket to the playoffs. With that win, Coach Chris will now be looking up at the Articunos and Woobats, who have difficult fixtures remaining. So this team that started the season 0-4 could now finish in 6th and give themselves a chance at a good deep run in the playoffs. Twim once again needs to find a way to motivate his powerful squad to close out the season with a victory. For that all-important momentum into the postseason, they need to find that X factor they had earlier this season that made them such a terrifying opponent. In the other non-replay match, the team that we are not allowed to discuss took on an Albuquerque Appletun team coming off their first loss since week 1. Fortunately, the Apple Dragons ran into an angry monkey and a scorching teacup, who broke through the psychic wall, sending them to a 2nd consecutive defeat. But with a good win-loss ratio and differential, they're probably safe in that 5th spot, and with a little help from the Articunos, they could steal the 4th spot by beating the Latios next week. course, this also means we still have an unbeaten team with #1 seed all wrapped up. Now, on to the replay matches. East Austin Archeops versus the Blazing Brelooms. The battle for that final spot in the playoffs. Either one of these two teams winning out the rest of the season can make it into that last slot if the Politoeds slip up. Who is that team going to be? Honestly, I'd love to see either one of these two teams get a win. Both of them have played incredibly well all season long with little reward for it. And I never want to see a team go unbeaten or non-winning for the entire season. Looking at the two teams, Chal has gone with the old reliable core four that he's brought pretty much all season. Crocodile, Skeledirge, Samurott, Electrode Hisui. He's been bringing that Breloom more and more as the season's gone on, and you can't not bring Breloom versus the Blazing Brelooms and BreloomBoi. It's against the law. I love Dreadnought. I really want to see what Cal has got in store with that Dreadnought. It is such a cool looking Pokemon. For the Brelooms, we have pretty much what you'd expect. Actually, no. We are missing a Basculegion. He has swapped out the Basculegion for Dead Pikachu. And we also see the Greedent make a return. This is, yeah. Now I'm really intrigued. No Basculegion for the Brelooms and Dreadnought for the Archeops. I've got to watch this battle. I'm just getting straight into it. No more talk. Game 1. Breloom and Electrode facing down Rillaboom and Thundurus. Grassy Surge comes out, boosting both the Breloom's damage and the Rillaboom's damage. And actually, depending on a set, Electrode's damage too. Everyone gets a damage boost. Except Thundurus. Terra from BreloomBoi into the Thundurus. Terra flying. Terra Blast into Breloom's face, incoming. Fake out into that Breloom. Volt Switch into the Thundurus. Oh no, there's the Terra Blast. Sash is broken. Oh, the Terra Blast went into the Electrode. Still a one-shot. It's a Life Orb Thundurus. He has been running that almost all season. Lola champion. Crocodile. No intimidate. That is either Anger Point or Moxie. Terra now from Shal into Breloom. Punchy Shroom starts to fly. Grassy Glide. Almost a one-shot on that Crocodile. Outrage. Not enough damage. Good damage, but not enough. Terra Blast. Into the now flying type Breloom, but it's too strong and Breloom goes down. Ah. It's just the power difference between some of these legendaries. Samurai hits the field. Grassy Glide finishes off the Croc. Legendary versus starter. Terra Blast. Not enough. Come on, Samurai. You've got this. X-Scissor. Yes! Finishes off the Rillaboom. Politoed comes in, sets up the rain. Single target, Wild Bolt Storm is now 100% accurate. Will finish this off. Tech from the Politoed. No need to risk it. Wild Bolt Storm comes out. Yep. Down goes Samurai. You tried, buddy. You tried. Game 1 in super quick fashion goes to the Blazing Brelooms. Pressure from the start. Very, very well played there by Starstreak. Game 2. We didn't get to see anything get going from Charles' side there. And I don't know what he can do about that. I think the big mistake was the Volt switch into the Volt Absorb Thunderous. That just completely made any momentum disappear. So just having that better turn 1 will help. Game 2. Samurott and Electrode. Rillaboom, Thunderous. Absolutely no change from Starstreak, as you'd expect. Now you have that sharpness boosted X-Sizzle from Samurott. Terra Ice. He does love his Terra Ice. Going to be Terra Flying again on the Thunderous? Yes, it is. Double Terra. Turn 1. Fake out into the Samurai. Terra Blast from the Electrode. Into the Thunderous. Gets the KO. Let's go. Sorry, rooting for the underdog here. Very unprofessional of me. Ooh, Mimikyu. Dead Pika hits the field. Grassy Glide. One shot on the Samurott. No X-Sizzle for you. Terra Blast into the Rillaboom. Oh, is that vested Rilla? Phantom Force. Oh, Power Herb Phantom Force. I like it. Oh, static proc. Oh no. This is such a fun battle. I love it. There's a crocodile. Grassy Glide. Ooh, into the Electrode is enough to get the KO. Dunk Shot. Busting the Disguise on the Mimikyu. Play Rough though connects. Oh, not enough to take it out, but Grassy Glide next turn will finish the job. Here comes the Skeledirge. Mimikyu protects. I love those animations for Mimikyu. Dunk Shot into the Mimikyu slot. High horsepower. Does about half. Torch Song though. Boom. Takes out the Rilla. Procs its... No, I don't think that was a throat spray proc. That was... There's the throat spray proc. That was the special attack boost from Torch Song. This is a great game too. Dunk Shot into the Mimikyu. Not enough. Oh, there's the haze. All those lovely juicy stat boosts for the Croc gone. Torch Song into the Mimikyu. Oh, not enough. Gets another special attack boost. Play Rough finishes off the Crocodile. And Skeledirge do this. Torch Song in the rain, unfortunately, is not going to be it. Power into the Croc. Oh! Disarming Voice. Not enough. Oh. This is where Phantom Force does come in very handy. Haze. Again getting rid of that stat proc. No. That's a good choice on Skeledirge actually. Phantom Force though finishes it off. That is such a fun battle. Such a fun battle. I couldn't help but start rooting for Chal there because I just wanted to see it go to a game 3. I wanted to see him get his first game win on the season. That was no slight or anything against BreloomBoi whatsoever. I just wanted to see a 3-game set between these two because I absolutely love watching both of them play. New York Latios versus Alaskan Articunos. We are very fortunate. We have replays from both sides of this match. Oh, given that Tommy likes to throw, we will take game 1 from TCL's point of view, and game 2 from Tommy's. If it goes to game 3, we'll also take that one from Tommy's point of view to witness the throwing firsthand. Let's get into the battle. TCL has brought his very reliable team of 6. Fluttermane is the best Pokemon in this generation for a reason. Ursaluna is so incredibly oppressive. But we do see Haunter on the other side, which, as a ghost type with Levitate, is immune to the vast majority of what that bear is known for. Tauros with the Intimidate is going to be key in keeping that Baxcalibur and Palafin in check. And as a fire type, is resistant to a lot of what Iron Moth can bring. Slowking is probably one of the most underrated Trick Room setters in the game. Goodra, depending on what set TCL has chosen to run on it, can be an absolute nuisance. Contrary to Lurantis, if you get a couple of boosts on it, can sweep through. Tommy, like I said, Ghost, Levitate, Haunter, really good into Ursaluna. You just have to be careful of that Fluttermane. Excalibur really popped off last week, showing exactly what that Ice Dragon can do. Support of Iron Jugulis and Thunderous are going to be absolutely key in him getting a victory this week. Palafin doesn't look great here, so I'm wondering if he just got it in the team preview. Now does not intend to bring it at all. Just the threat of that Super Dolphin is usually enough to make a coach think twice about their game plan. Let's get into it and find out. Here we go. Game number 1. Thundy and Jugulis on the lead for the Articuno. Taurus and Slowking TCL. Flare Blitz from the Fireball into Tauros. Only doing about 2/3. That's a bulky Tauros. That's a bulky Thunderous. Proxit Citrus Berry. Dark Pulse into the Slowking. Whoa! That was a lot more damage than I was expecting into that typically bulky Slowking. Another Citrus Berry proc. Thunderbolt finishes off the Slowking. Fantastic turn 1. Ursaluna hits the field. Fantastic turn 1 there for Tommy. Getting that Trick Room setter out of the way. Juggler switches out into Haunter. The Ursaluna counter is here. Rain Dance, reducing the damage from that Fireball. There's the Flare Blitz. Does nothing this time around thanks to that rain. Play Rough into the Poison type. Not very effective with a crit. Tauros switches out into Lurantis. Protect from Ursaluna. Grass Knot from Thunderous into the Protect. Encore from the Haunter, also into the Protect. Encore's really interesting on that Haunter. It is pretty fast, so it's certainly going to outspeed that bear. Thunderous switches back into the Iron Jugulus. Ursaluna switches out. In comes the Tauros. Intimidate, not going to matter versus these special attackers. Encore by the Haunter now fails. Superpower, neutral into that Iron Jugulus, but only does around a third, but crucially gets the attack and defense buff. Terra from TCL into the Lurantis. Terra Psychic. Very risky play with the Iron Jugulus on the other side. Close combat into that Jugulus. Not enough to KO. Hurricane in the rain. Doesn't do enough. There's the Icy Wind. Again. Doesn't do much and gets the speed boost for that contrary Lurantis, who goes for the superpower, finishing off the Iron Jugulus, getting another attack and defense boost. And Jugulus is out of here. In comes Bax. Excalibur protects. Tauros close combat into the protect. Disable. Disables the superpower for Lurantis. That is a brilliant move. The rain now does stop though. Encore disable Haunter. I like it. Terra coming out from the Articunos into the Excalibur. Terra Fire. Close combat, no longer super effective, but still does almost half to that Bax. Crucially, we get another defense and special defense drop on the bull, and there's the disable. Icicle Spear into the Lurantis. 2, 3. He's going to need the 5. 4. Ooh, even the 5 might not be enough. There's the 5. No, it wasn't. Terra Blast. Psychic into the Haunter. 4 times super effective. Goodbye, Ghosty. After what was a really good turn one for Tommy. This has become an incredibly close battle. Here's the Thunderous. No more rain. Tauros and Lurantis have their fighting moves disabled. Flare Blitz from Tauros will give Excalibur a +1. Tauros, for that reason, switches out into the bear, who can't tear her away. There's the Grass Knot predicting that switch. Earthquake from Baxcalibur finishes off the Lurantis. Doesn't do enough into the Ursaluna, but it can't tear her away from its ice weakness. So the Icicle Spear should finish the job next turn. Great prediction and great coverage there. If it switches out, the Grass Knot hits the Ursaluna. If it doesn't switch, the Tauros gets KO'd by that Earthquake. You have to think this is a protect on the Ursaluna. Or TCL calls Tommy's bluff, doesn't protect, takes out the Baxcalibur. It is a protect. Going for the safe play. Drill Run from the Tauros, not enough to finish off the backs. Thunderbolt into the Tauros. It lives on 2 HP but gets paralyzed. Did he recall the protect? It's Earthquake. Covering his bases. Tauros is gone. The slow bear versus Frozilla and the Thunder Genie. Grass Knot finishing the job. Yes. Game 1 goes to Tommy. But we all know Tommy throws. Okay, on we go to game number 2. And I actually think from Tommy's side, I wouldn't change a thing. I don't think Palafin really adds much to this. It could be a very good game 3 adjustment if it goes that far. In Moth would be useful, but having seen the drill run on Tauros and the Terra Psychic Terra Blast on the Lurantis, probably not great. I would honestly go with the same 4 and just say, stop me. Grass Knot on Thunderous is great into the Ursaluna, it's great into the Slow King. So there are options into just about everything on the Latios side in that 4 from game 1. From TCL's side, Ursaluna, Lurantis, Tauros was fantastic. The question is the 4th mon. The Slow King going down frame 1 the way it did really scuppered TCL's plans, I think, for that match. But what do you replace it with? Me personally, it would be Fluttermane. The natural speed and special defense that Fluttermane brings is so good into the very special attack heavy offense that Tommy brought in that game 1. It just depends on the set that TCL's got on that Flutter. That would be my adjustment though, because if Tommy goes with the exact same lead as he did game 1, you know that Slow King is not living. He's going to shut it down. So it's going to be very hard to get up a Trick Room. It also might be worth switching out Ursaluna for Goodra, just for that surprise factor. Beyond the Slowking going down immediately, TCL played that game one very, very well. It was so close. But let's see what we have. Game 2. Can TCL bring this back? Lurantis and Fluttermane. There's the Flutter. It's the adjustment I wanted to see, and the exact same lead from Tommy. Booster into Speed. Error immediately from Tommy. Into the Iron Jugulus, taking away its fairy weakness. Protect from the Flutter. Eerie Impulse into that Fluttermane. Flamethrower. Ooh, that's got to be vested. Superpower, not very effective on the Jugulus, but getting those boosts. Lurantis switches out. In comes the Slowking. Eerie Impulse into the Fluttermane, dropping that special attack. Thunderbolt! But thanks to that special attack drop, it's not doing a great deal. Great switch there. Critical hit Flamethrower doing next to nothing to that Slowking. What is that Slowking going to do? Jugulus switches out, so the Flutter is staying in. I would have thought with that special attack drop it would switch. There's the Haunter. There's the Thunderbolt. There's another Thunderbolt. Doesn't finish off that Slowking though. It does set up Trick Room. Huh. That's an interesting choice there by TCL. Now, does that Flutter have Shadow Ball? And will that be able to take out the Haunter? Fluttermane protects. Eerie Impulse into the Slowking. More special attack drops. Yawn. I like that play. Reversing the Trick Room. Fluttermane switches out. Into Ursaluna. Thundurus switches out. Into the Iron Jugulus. Encore into Yawn. You will not be setting up Trick Room. Yawn into the Jugulus. Jugulus switches out. not wanting to go to sleep. Thunderous comes back out. Haunter now disables the Yawn. Slowking has to swap. Bulk up on the Ursaluna. Ooh. That's an angry bear. Slowking switches into the Lorantis. Protect from the Ursaluna. Front of the encoring Haunter. Grass Knot into the Ursaluna. That's about half. Encore into Protect. Now, what is the Lorantis going to do? It wasn't a Terror. There's the superpower. Getting those stat boosts again. Because Protect failed last turn, Ursaluna is going to get the Protect this turn. Yep. Now, Thunderbolt into the Lorantis. Icy Wind, will it finish the job? We didn't see Terror again. It doesn't do enough, but it gets the speed boost. Poison Jab. Respectable damage and gets the poison. And Lorantis isn't, even with the +1, isn't going to outspeed that Haunter. So the Icy Wind could be enough to take it out and get some pretty meaningful damage on that Ursaluna if it doesn't get the double Protect. Ursaluna switches out. Here comes the Flutter Mane. Grass Knot into the Flutter. Does nothing. Icy Wind though is going to get a speed drop on that Flutter Mane. Thunderous takes more Poison Chip. Bear returns to the field. How does Tommy play this? Eerie Impulse into the Flutter. Once again, -2 special attack. Moonblast. Thanks to that, -2 isn't enough. Icy Wind getting another speed drop on that Flutter. And some nice chip on the Ursaluna. High horsepower into the levitating Haunter. I'm guessing TCL forgot about Levitate. Flutter switches out, resetting that stat drop. Slowking returns. Ursaluna protects. Playing it very safe here. Thunderbolt into the Slowking. Finishes it off. Encore into the Protect. Thunderous faints due to the poisoning. Ooh. Now we have a pure flying Jugulus facing down a Flutter Mane with Thunderbolt. Here's the Thunderbolt. Bye bye Jugulus. And this is such a close battle. And we've got to be close to timer here too. There's an encore into the protect on the Ursaluna. Excalibur's the last mon. Oh no. And Ursaluna is locked into protect. It can't do anything for the next few turns. And Tommy's time has actually hit 0. Excalibur protects. Ursaluna protects. Fluttermane has charm. Oh. And the charm gets disabled. Wow. I'm surprised Tommy didn't go for an icy wind there. Tommy's time has run out and he loses game 2. Wow, what a crazy battle. Not entirely sure what the rule was there. I'm guessing because Tommy ran out of time, he automatically loses. Because I'm pretty sure the combined HP of Haunter and Baxcalibur was more than Fluttermane Ursaluna, but that's just rough math in my head, so I'm not sure he loses on that. I think he loses because he specifically ran out of time when TCL still had time on the clock. And the battle timer itself still had over 2 minutes left. I think that's the interaction, but I'm not entirely sure, so please feel free to leave a comment telling me what happened there. My inexperience showing, I think. Okay, game 3. I honestly don't know what PCL can do to win this. Fluttermane is going to be the absolute key here, I think. I don't think Ursaluna brings anything to the table here. It's too slow, and without Trick Room up, it's just not going to do much at all. The Lurantis, it's way too long to get set up. So that kind of limits PCL's options to Flutter, Slowking, Goodra, Tauros. PCL just hasn't been able to get the Trick Room up. Every time he's tried, Tommy shut him down. Game 3. Goodra Lurantis for TCL. Thundy and Bax for Tommy. Dragon versus Dragon. And not a great deal that Thundurus does here. Thundurus switches out into Haunter. Terror from Tommy into that Baxcalibur. Handles return. Terror from TCL into his own dragon. Putting the hard hat on. Terror Fairy Goodra. Icicle Spear into the Lurantis though. 2, 3, and 4. Without that defense boost from Superpower, it goes down. Draco Meteor. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Here comes Fluttermane. Speed boosting Paradox Misdreavus. Fluttermane protects. Excalibur also protects. Interesting that the Goodra didn't switch out. There's an Icy Wind from Haunter. Nothing. That speed drop is not going to matter on that Goodra. Stomping Tantrum. Okay, it's a mixed set Goodra. You have to expect a charm here. Yep, there it is. I spoke it into existence. Haunter disables the Stomping Tantrum. Icicle Spear with the -2 is not going to do much. That crit helps though. Critting through that stat drop. So if it hadn't got the stat drops, that was probably very close to an OCO. Not a lot of bulk investment on that Fluttermane. Interesting. That made those eerie impulses in game 2 even more important, I think. Back switches out. Inevitably. In comes Thunderous. Goodra switches out. Into the bear. Thunderbolt. Into the Thunderous. Icy Wind getting that speed drop on the Fluttermane. Now that Thundy will probably outspeed it. No, it won't because of the booster energy. It hasn't switched. Come back. So that brings it back down to neutral speed. Now, does TCL call the bluff with the Ursaluna? It didn't protect. Moonblast into Thunderous. It's a special attack drop. Icy Wind blowing that Flutter even more. Crit the Ursaluna. But what is the Ursaluna going to do now? Play rough. Oh, not strong enough. Moonblast. Oh, no, it was a speed tie. There's the Thunderbolt finishing off the Fluttermane. Icy Wind. Ursaluna protects. I'm going to have to go back and look because I swear the last turn Thunderous outsped Fluttermane. There's a Goodra. Eerie Impulse. If it is going for a Draco, already going to be -2. Encore into the Ursaluna. Ice Beam. But no setup on that Goodra. Luna gets the protect. Grass Knot into the protect. Ah, Tommy is trying to throw. That protect was guaranteed. Encore. More ice beams coming out This time into the Thunderous, finishing it off. Why Tommy went to the Ursaluna spot there, I do not know. A Thunderbolt into that Goodra would have been so much more helpful. Vax comes back out with the Goodra locked into Ice Beam, the Ursaluna locked into Protect. He gets the double Protect. Wow! Icy Wind, nothing. Icicle Spear into the Protecting Ursaluna. There's the Ice Beam. Negligible damage, but gets the freeze. Ursaluna ends its encore. Haunter frozen solid. Icicle Spear from the back Excalibur. Not going to be enough, I don't think. There's 3. There's 4. Needs the 5. Gets it. Oh, that's so unlucky for TCL. Ice Beam still chipping down that Haunter. Goodra has ended its encore. That Excalibur protects. Haunter still frozen solid. Stomping Tantrum into the backs. Good call. Back switches out. Looking to avoid that Stomping Tantrum. Here comes the Iron Jugulus. Haunter thaws out. Gets the encore. Now locking it into Stomping Tantrum with 2 immunities on the field. Beautiful play by Tommy there. Haunter is an absolute menace. Raw Hurricane from Jugulus. Misses. Haunter disables the Stomping Tantrum. Goodra is now going to struggle. That play I do not like. Struggle will actually do damage. It's the Hurricane. Another one left. There's the struggle into back Excalibur. Recoil's going to help it, but the encore is ended. Misses the Hurricane this time. Icicle Spear will, however, finish it off. GG's. That was a fascinating encounter. I honestly do not know what to say there. That was such good prep on both sides. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. Tommy did do his best to throw, but luckily his prep worked and nullified what TCL brought. I think TCL not being able to get up that Trick Room to enable the Ursaluna hurt him in this battle. I said in the week 7 video, Trick Room Flutter would be so good on this team. He's already running a support set, usually, with things like Charm and Icy Wind. So having that Trick Room with its, especially with its special bulk, you're probably more likely to get that Trick Room up into a team like Tommy's. A Prankster Taunt may have shut it down, but the fact that Slow King can't be taunted kind of makes your opposition think twice about running taunt to prevent Trick Room, because there's only so many options you have. So if you can't taunt the Slowking, you need to either fake it out or have enough damage on the field turn 1 to stop it from getting the Trick Room up. That isn't necessarily going to work versus a Fluttermane. Just teching Trick Room onto that Fluttermane, running just maybe a Moonblast, Charm if you desperately need the damage reduction, and Trick Room along with Protect, it's probably a good enough set for the way TCL's been running that Flutter the last couple of weeks. Just my thoughts. I think that would have helped activate that Ursaluna, certainly in this battle. If you're not going to go for the fully offensive Fluttermane, then on a team like TCL's, I think the Trick Room is probably the way to go. Other than that, it just absolutely phenomenally well played by both players. I love that Haunter set. I love that Goodra set that TCL brought. We didn't get to see enough of that Slowking. I love Slowking. Slowking is one of my favourite Pokemon. And it probably is, outside of facing down a Thundurus, one of the best Trick Room setters in the game. So, yeah. Really, really well played. Still not entirely sure what happened with that game too. Like I said, let me know in the comments or in Discord what the rules are there, because it's not something I've seen happen before. With week 8 into the books, we are heading into the final week of the regular season. The top 8 are decided, but those actual seedings for the playoff bracket are still to play for, with only really the number 1 and number 2 seeds set. There are a lot of talking points for next week's matches. The Welsh Woobats take on the Prismatic Ice Shards. Not only are the Woobats the league's last hope to prevent the first ever undefeated season, but with 6th and 8th being so close, they could go from a fantastic 3-1 start to finishing 8th if the Politoeds beat the Dirge and the Woobats fail to take a single game off the piss. Speaking of the Politoeds, if they do pull off the unthinkable and beat the 2nd seed Skeledirge with a decent kill death and other results plus differentials going their way, they could leap up into that 6th spot. It is so close in those last few playoff spots. The Articunos simply need to win. Thanks to Tommy's ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory early in the season, they've built up a really good games won total, which will keep them in that 6th spot as long as they get an all-important victory over the Blazing Brelooms. The New York Latios take on the Albuquerque Appletun, with the winner guaranteed that number 4 seed. But with a win and a Dogis defeat, Appletun can jump into that number 3 spot. The Dogis, however, play the Archeops, who are unfortunately yet to win a match this season, but never ever count Coach Chal out. That about wraps it up. I will see you all back here for the next episode, where we will have a ton to discuss. We will go over the final week matches. We will preview the playoff, and I will give my predictions for the entire playoff bracket. So hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one.